Hello, my geniuses. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Yes, you would have realized that I changed my location today. I am at the poolside with you, and this is the beginning of a new series called The Power of Education. Yes, the power of education. And I'm going to share my story with you. So stay with me, okay? Are you excited? I am too. Not only do I have water to go in, but you are with me, my geniuses. So let's talk. Do you feel as if you want to be motivated? Are you wondering why should you get a good education? Well, I will solve all that for you. I will answer those questions. So stay with me. Woo! I'm so excited. See, I'm rocking my colors today. Yes, I'm in my Jamaican colors. And I feel so good. I really feel good. All right, guys, I am about to begin. You want to join me? We are going to have so much fun. All right, I want to be relaxed to share my story with you. So I am just going to start, and as you can see, I have absolutely no props, right? So I am just going to talk to you from the heart. Now, guys, I was brought up with my grandmother, right? In a little place called Brownsall, St. Catherine. Yes, many of you would have known there. But before I even begin with Brownsall, right? Because once I am ready to talk about education, there is always the first place that comes to my mind. But before Brownsall, I was living with my grandmother, aunties, cousins, in a little place called Caney, St. Mary. Yes, past Richmond Farm Prison and go all the way up, close to Brainerd. Yes, that's where I'm from. That's where I was with my grandmother. She was a beautiful lady, nice soul, Miss Icy. May God bless her soul. She died. Now my grandfather is still there. I remember as a child, I used to have to walk many miles, about 7 miles to school, through hills and valleys, and I am not lying. Hills and valleys. But we walked through there and we got to Lewisburg All-Age School. That's where I went, and I spent my early years. Now, at Lewisburg, I remember there were some popular students there, and of course, they were doing well academically as well. I could call names, but I am sparing. You know yourselves, guys. So yes, I went there, right? After Lewisburg, let me look at you. So after Lewisburg, I spent a couple years there, and then I had to go to Brownsall to live with my father's mother and father, my grandparents on my paternal side. Right there, I went to Brownsall Primary, and from there, of course, my mother could not find my birth certificate, so I didn't even do the common entrance, and I was placed at Tasha School in secondary school. When I went there, I excelled in sports. They even had a song of me. And if you run like Cadian, you must be a champion. You hear? Yes, I can't forget that. So I was very fast. But during my years at Tasha Schooling, I met in an accident which changed my life completely. It gave me this scar here and many other scars on my body. Plus, I have emotional scars from that accident. I was even told that I couldn't bear children. My humerus was broken, my right pelvis, I had burnt marks to my right here, my shoulder here, my stomach here, and my thigh. They were so bad that I was the first skin graft patient at the Spanish Town Hospital. Yes, because they had to perform a skin graft operation on me just to cover the white intensity of the scars. Anyhow, as a result, I started walking like this. I don't know if you'll see me. So I walk with one foot before the other. See me walking? Yes. Of course, walking this way, people would often think that, you know, she's acting as if she's a model. Not realizing that because my pelvis was broken, when I started walking, I had to put one foot in front of the other, and it just healed like that. So yes, I am not trying to show off. I am not trying to act as if I am better than anybody. I walk this way naturally because of the accident that I had. Right? But since we're looking at the power of education, let me not go to that traumatic event because I really don't want to start crying right now. All right? And my aim here is not to cry or for you to feel pity for me, but for you to be motivated, knowing that there is power in education. And if I succeed, you can too. All right? So I went to Tatius, and the accident happened when I was in 8th grade. So they asked that I sit out 1 year if I wasn't successful in my exams. Of course, I was very successful, so I was promoted to the other grade. After grade 9 and the beginning of grade 10, I had to go away to St. Mary again. And there in St. Mary, I went to St. Mary Technical High School in Richmond. I was very involved in school. I remember I was a member there for the president of the student council, and I was prefect. I also excelled. But then, yes, as fate would have it, but before I go there, I was on the debating team and even did an advertisement for TVJ. I was featured because I would get several best speaker, and my school during that year won several debating competitions. So yes, I am a speaker, right? Can chat. So guys, during that time, I felt on top of the world, but my demise came. I got pregnant as a teen. Yes, I am sharing my story with you, and I am giving it to you real and raw. I got pregnant as a teen. I really didn't want to go and do my CXCs because I was so embarrassed. But like many of you having great teachers, I had some. And I remember Miss Car Harvey, she won't mind me calling her name, and Mrs. McCormick. Those teachers, they took me under their wings. Most mornings I didn't have breakfast or lunch, but they provided for me. And likewise, when I got pregnant, they heard about it and they called to say, come and do your exams. Of course, I went to do my exams, and when I was there, I was so embarrassed because all the kids kept on pointing at me and they were like, she pregnant, she can't breathe. Yes, they said all that. And I was very embarrassed, but I was focused because I knew I had a goal in mind. And I did my exams. I was successful, and I had a bouncing baby boy. So even though I was valedictorian, I could not attend my high school graduation because I was pregnant. Now my baby was born in December. Yes, so cute. Every mother says their child is the cutest baby, but I'm telling you, my little baby boy was the cutest baby in the entire world. So he came, and of course, I won't even go there about a father, but let's just say, thank God for my spike. Dada, you were great to me. You took care of me, and I appreciate it. And Yvonne, you might not hear from me every day, but I am using this medium to tell you thanks for being there. Vivette, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been introduced to Esha. And being in Esha St. Mary, guys, Yes, I got love. I got some love. I experienced love because I'm telling you, my son's father, um, his father, which is my son's grandfather, he was a man that looked out for me. And I want to take this time, Dada, and say thank you. All right, so guys, when I got pregnant, I didn't have it, you know. As a teenage mom, I really didn't know what to do. I just wanted to take care of my son to the best of my ability. But I knew that something had to change drastically, right? So this teacher at school, she owned a gas station, Miss UC, I hope she's alive. And she called me and she said to me, Kadian, you are a smart girl. I am going to let you work at my lotto machine outlet. She just opened a new branch. And I'm like, okay, even though I knew nothing about operating lotto machines. So I went there and I worked there for a while. But while I was there, this young man used to visit me, right? And it so happened that he played football in Port Antonio. So I asked him to drop an application off for me at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education. And guys, this is where the journey begins. So stay glued, stay focused, because there is power in education. I am the living proof, and I want you to know that if I did it, you can do it too. So he dropped off that application for me and I gave him that 150 Jamaican dollars. I'll never forget. And you know, some people would have probably spent that money to buy food, but he did come off the main and brought my application over to the college. And as luck would have it, they accepted me. When I went there, I didn't know how my school fee would be paid. You know, I was already struggling with my son. So I wondered what would happen, but I went there in faith. Now, while I was there, I called my dad and I asked dad to pay my first tuition. No, the tuition was 14,000 Jamaican dollars, less than 100 US dollars, but I could not find it. Daddy gave me half of that, right? And I brought it to the college, but they wanted the entire school fee. So here it is, guys, and I ask you not to lie. But I did at that time because I knew I wanted a better life for me and for my son. So I told them that my aunt lives in America and she was going to send the money through Western Union for me, but the Western Union that she went to, it wasn't working. So they gave me until the Wednesday to get that money. They even asked for my aunt's number. Of course I called Yvonne because she used to travel and she gave me a number that was no longer in service, right? So I don't know if they called the number or not, but they gave me a key on D dorm. I'll never forget. It was the happiest time of my life. I now had somewhere to stay. So I went to B dorm and I lived there for a while. Of course, nobody ever checked for that school fee. So thank you, Lord. Yes. So as a result, I stayed there. I had to eat from the canteen. When other students were going home, I used to visit Dad's place, but then my stepmother came and her kids came and I could no longer go there. So I had to be on campus. Now my roommate at the time, she was very instrumental in providing for me along with her parents. So they gave me money, they helped me out. If she had 2 pairs of shoes, I could wear one. And yes, and if we were going to parties, she would be in the black one, I would be in the white one. Then she would be in the white one, I would be in the black one. But I was happy there and I worked hard. Now, college wasn't easy. I remember playing netball and I remember being in charge of the netballers at once. And you know, you get money from that to give the other players and some for yourself, which is a bigger stipend. That I used to send my son to basic school or kindergarten, as you would say if you're living in America. Now, that wasn't enough. So he didn't go as often as he should go. And until now, I feel guilty about that. But yes, so time went by and that happened. It was rough. It was tough. thanks to those ladies in the canteen who would always give me a little extra so that I could snack on at nights. And they always gave me extra food. Even when the kids there were crying, oh, this doesn't taste good. And if you bite it, blood comes out of the meat. I had no choice. So I had to sit there and eat that meat, even if it wasn't well cooked, because I knew what I wanted. I knew that education would be the thing to save me and my son. So I kept focused. Guys, the 3 years went by and I was valedictorian. Now, because I was so involved at college, I was valedictorian, I was part of the debate team, I was president of the drama club, you name it, I was it. I was Cersei in college, that was my grub name, and everybody knew me. At one time, they called me a Tachi because I wanted to look so sophisticated that I brought an Atachi case that I bought in downtown Kingston, just to show that, you know, I was something. That's how you react when you're really nothing, right? But yes, teaching practice went by. I became valedictorian at the end of the 3 years, and I had my graduation. My son came, daddy was there. I was so excited, and I thought, this is it, I've made it. Now, when it was graduation and everybody went on stage looking all cute, all dolled out, and they were collecting their diplomas, of course I got mine in a canister, you know, that nice little thing. But inside, rolled up, while everyone was showing their diploma, mine said, "See the finance office." Yes, because I owed my tuition. I wasn't perturbed anyhow. So I went there. They told me that they would write a letter to say that I've completed my course, but I would have to work and pay them all the tuition before I could get my diploma. And of course I did that. Yay, thanks. See, so I started working. I sent out many applications, and believe it or not, I got accepted to all those schools, almost 20 schools. Yes, because my resume looked good from all the involvement in college, right? So when I finally accepted a job, because this was the JTA president at the time, and I wanted to work at her school because I knew that big things would be happening there. So of course, let me sit a little with you. So of course, I went there to Davis Primary and I worked. Now, some of my students, they already participated in a trivia on this program. So yes, you would have seen them. You can look at my past students' trivia and you would have seen some of them. And I knew that was my calling, you know. I knew teaching was my calling. So now I was in a better position to take care of my son. My grandmother had him at the time in Brownsall, because I decided that I didn't want it to stop there. I wanted to go to the University of the West Indies. I thought, no, being a teacher would make me rich, right? Silly me. Of course it doesn't, right? You can hardly make ends meet. So I enrolled in the University of the West Indies, yes, for my Bachelor's of Arts in Language, Communication and Society. Hardest thing ever. Many linguistic courses, I am not going to lie. Of course, they taught me how to pronounce education, cat, and a whole lot of things that make you look more sophisticated when you speak. So I am not sorry about my university years, but that, I'm telling you, took a toll on my pocket. So between catering for my son as a single mom, I had to travel on work experience. So they had summer work and travel programs, and those I went on. No guys, I'm telling you, that was something else. I did like 3 jobs. I worked at McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, telemarketing. Telemarketing was the worst. They would curse me out constantly, you know, get off my effing phone, you this, and go and get up this life, and you know, all the expletives that you can think of. Because this is a child-friendly program, I won't say them, but all the things that you can think of that's very bad, those are the things they told me in my ears. But because I wanted that $8.50, which was the highest I was being paid of the 3 jobs at Florida Solar, I decided that I would take those insults. And I did. McDonald's was another thing at downtown Disney, because people assume that once you work at McDonald's, then you are not brilliant. So they would come there with a whole lot of coins for you to count out, and then tell you that they're supposed to get $10 back when they didn't even give you $10 in the first place. So if you're not smart, your register would be short every day and you would be working to pay back McDonald's, right? So luckily, I was at the register, but I had knowledge and I used it there. Of course, they thought, being from Jamaica, I had to have red hair and I must smoke and I must be from nowhere. They treated me badly, and most of my duties after being on the register was to clean the bathroom at night. Of course, there's no shame in my game, because I knew that this was to pay my university tuition and take care of my son. So I did it. Guys, it didn't stop there. It continued. I did that summer work and travel program for 2 years. Yes, 2 years. I did it just to pay my tuition at UA. And after that, I decided that I wouldn't stop there. I wanted something bigger. So I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in Language Communication and Society from the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. But I decided to pursue further education, and I went to the Sheffield University in London, England, right? So I did my master's in educational studies there. But again, guys, that wasn't easy. During my summers, I would go to America and work off the books. Yes, I would do things that many people wouldn't consider doing. Taking care of the elderly. Whatever the task was, it wasn't too menial for me to do, because I looked at the future ahead. I knew that with education, it could change my life, and one day I wouldn't have to do those jobs. So I did it to the best of my ability. I didn't have to brush her hair, but I brushed her hair and I polished her nails because she was paying me, and I felt good doing something outside of my job that brought comfort to her. You see what I'm saying, guys? No, I don't want you to experience these, but as I said, there is power in education. And because of those things that I did, I am now in America, right? So I am now teaching in America. Now, many might say, oh, that is no big deal. To me, it is, because knowing the background that I'm coming from, knowing the things that I went through, if it weren't for the power of education, if it wasn't for the power of education, I would not be here. So wherever you were born, wherever you live, whoever your parents are, whatever your experience is, if you stay focused in school, if you are motivated enough to get an education, believe me, it can change your life, and it can change the lives of many people around you. Guys, I implore you today, please make education a priority. Focus. I didn't have it. I left out many things in this story, but I know you can read between the lines. I went to bed hungry many nights. Many nights. I didn't have clothes to wear out, so I stayed in most of the time. I have been through it. Even when I could find a little thing, it was more towards my son, because I looked out for him more than I did for myself. But today, I won't tell you that I am rich. I am not. I am not even yet where I want to be. But I want to tell you that there is power in education. And if I did it, so can you. Guys, if you have a story to tell, right? If you have a story to tell, if you have been impacted by the power of education, reach out to me. I want to share your story with the world. Or even if you are not where you think you'd want to be, but you didn't pay attention in school as much and you regret not taking education seriously, reach out to me as well. I want to feature you on my program, Reading Unlimited with KDN. So remember, guys, go there. I should take a dip in the pool, shouldn't I? How can I be at a pool and you don't see me going in the pool? All right, I just might for you. Let me see how it goes. Should I or should I not? All right, guys, guess what? I'm gonna take a dip in the pool for you, okay? And I want you to remember to subscribe to Reading Unlimited with KDN. I want to also thank you for subscribing. Remember, look in that mirror daily. Tell yourself something positive. You are gorgeous. You are kind. You are brilliant. You are worthy. You are amazing. Be kind to yourself. But in so doing, be kind to others. And if you have nothing good to say, please say absolutely nothing at all. Guess what? I'm gonna dip in the pool. I told you I would. Are you seeing me? I did it! I did it! I did it! I did it! Come to the pool and not go in the water for you, right? That wouldn't make much sense. So, guys, I did it for you. Remember, you can conquer the world. There's nothing that is impossible, okay? So be positive, go for what you want, and you may realize your dreams. Have yourselves a great day.